Vargas was born on March 28, 1963 in Argüey, Peru. He currently didn't know his father because they separated, both the parents separated during his early life, where he lived in Bolivia because of his grandfather owning a cotton farm and also a political leader. He recently, at the age of 16, he graduated and started beginning his early works in journalism. And during his university life, he got married to Julia in 1955 at the age of 19. She was 10 years older than him, but he didn't care. The couple did have issues, and in 5 years quickly divorced. In about a year, he got remarried to Patricia Lois, and basically had 3 children. During the 1960s, many of his early works were considered great, like The Greenhouse and The Conversation of Cathedral, where early works like The Greenhouse and The Conversation in the Cathedral was considered one of his greatest works, which incorporated murder mysteries, historic novels, and political thrillers. He also did some screenwriting called Aunt Julia, and is considered one of the. His writing influenced the perception of the Peruvian society and his own experience, and many of his books tackled many controversial themes.
I'm going to read you a section out of Mario Vargas Llosa's book, Death in the Andes. When he saw the Indian woman appear at the door of the shack, Letuma guessed what she was going to say, and she did say it. But she was mumbling in Quechua, while the saliva gathered at the corners of her toothless mouth. "What's she saying, Tomastillo?" "I couldn't catch it, Corporal." The civil guard addressed her in Quechua, indicating with gestures that she should speak more slowly. The woman repeated the indigestible sounds that affected Letuma like savage music. He suddenly felt very uneasy. "What's she saying?" "It seems her husband's disappeared," murmured his adjutant. "4 days ago." "That means we've lost 3, Letuma stammered, feeling preparation breaking out on his face. "Son of a bitch." "So what should we do, Corporal?" "Take her statement." A shudder ran up and down Letuma's spine. "Have her tell you what she knows." "But what's going on?" exclaimed the civil guard. First the mute, then the albino, now one of the highway foremen. "It can't be, Corporal."
Fourth major novel, The War of the End of the World, was published in 1981 and was his first attempt at a historical novel. This work initiated a radical change in Vargas Llosa's style toward themes such as messianism and irrational human behavior. It recreates the War of Canudos, an incident in 19th century Brazil in which an armed millenarian cult held off a siege by the National Army for months. As in Vargas Llosa's earliest work, this novel carries a sober and serious theme, and its tone is dark. Llosa's bold exploration of humanity's propensity to idealize violence and his account of a man-made catastrophe brought on by fanaticism on all sides earned the novel substantial recognition. It would be almost 20 years before Vargas Llosa wrote another major work. The Feast of the Goat, a political thriller, was published in 2000 and in English in 2001. According to Williams, it's Vargas Llosa's most complete and most ambitious novel since The War of the End of the World. Critic Sabine Coleman sees it in the line of his earlier novels such as Conversation in La Cathedral, depicting the effects of authoritarian. Bean Coleman sees it in the line of his earlier novels, such as Conversation in La Cathedral, depicting the effects of authoritarianism, violence, and the abuse of power on the individual. Based on the dictatorship of Rafael Trujillo, who governed the Dominican Republic from 1930 until his assassination in 1961, the novel has three main strands. One concerns Urania Cabral, the daughter of a former politician and Trujillo loyalist, who returns for the first time since leaving the Dominican Republic after Trujillo's assassination 30 years earlier. The second concentrates on the assassination itself, the conspirators who carried it out, and its consequences. And the third and final strand deals with Trujillo himself and scenes from the end of his regime. The book quickly received positive reviews in Spain and Latin America and has had a significant impact in Latin America, being regarded as one of Vargas Llosa's best works.
In 1996, Mario Vargas Llosa won the Peace Prize of the German book trade, and in 2010 he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Mario Vargas Llosa has had many jobs, including he's a Peruvian writer, he's a politician, a journalist, an essayist, and a college professor. Mario Vargas Llosa is one of Latin America's most significant novelists and essayists, and one of the leading writers of his generations. Some critics consider him to have had a large international impact and worldwide audience than any other writer of the Latin American boom.